Now let's change gears. This is Sims Complete, a part of the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. And let's just talk real quick about Bryce Young and the performance of the Carolina Panthers on the road in Atlanta. Big division win for them. And now the Carolina Panthers, a 6-5 football team. What do you think about Bryce Young and what Dave Canales has done so far this year, big guy?
Well, Dave Canales has done an awesome job. They stay with the run. And I'm sure Bryce Young, he's the opposite of Jameis Winston. He's looking to play it safe. And what's really intriguing to watch him play, the passing game yesterday, over 400 yards. I mean, oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So that gives you even more confidence in Bryce Young and is his future, all that other stuff is going to be, what are we going to do, the contract. But, Atlanta, just coaching, that's what I look at. I mean, they win games throwing the ball and they win games running the ball. And so they got a lot of, solid players down there and really tremendous game yesterday. I didn't get to watch much of it, but I kept flipping back. And, the other side of the story, I'll just say it real quick. Michael Penix played one of the better games of his career before he got hurt. His legs, everything, he was really, you could see he had confidence, threw the ball with power, accuracy, and all that. And as soon as I happened to be watching when he got hurt, and as soon as when I said, oh my gosh, he's going to be out for the year because he got twisted in there. But so, yeah, the Carolina Panthers, it is this a little bit, right? It's up and down and you go, yeah, they're done. And then they come out and have a showing like this. It was really tremendous. And hey, Dave Canales has really got it going. Coaching that football team, they believe in him, and they're showing it on the field.
Yeah, and 6-5 right now in a division where, listen, it's kind of wide open. I mean, it's not like Tampa Bay is running away with this thing and Tampa suffering that loss up in Buffalo yesterday. We'll get to that game here in a moment. But, yeah, I think just overall, I think you said it best, big guy. Just a really big game for Bryce Young, for his confidence. It seems like he plays very well in Atlanta against this Atlanta Falcons football team, right? Passing for 400 yards, had a big one last year when he played in Atlanta to end the season. So the other guy that I think is a rising star on this football team and a young rookie, we're talking a lot about JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, and his just emergence as a star in the NFL. Tetairoa McMillan, has put together a really good season here so far as a rookie. 54 catches on the year, 748 yards, 4 touchdowns, and had a monster day yesterday for Bryce Young. 8 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, and really did a great job of getting open, too, on a little scramble drill late in the game for a critical touchdown to put them ahead. So he is clearly getting better and better each and every week. So without Carolina able to run the football as effectively as they had, and this kind of run that they've been on, Bryce Young steps up in a big way. His 3 touchdowns, 448 yards passing. And you're right, with a devastating loss of Michael Penix, who was playing one of his better football games of the season, I think, just like a complete NFL look yesterday, right? It's like he kind of knew the game, the style, seeing the field well, playing aggressive. Him, Bijan Robinson, Drake London all performed extremely well. And now they got to roll with Kirk Cousins here because the Michael Penix injury is pretty severe.
Well, let me say this, for Bryce Young. There was a game I watched. I don't know if it was a Monday night, Sunday night. I don't know when it was, but I saw the Buffalo Bills go to Atlanta. And Josh Allen and the receiving core and the whole team, they couldn't even get close to getting open. I've never seen it. I don't think it might be the worst passing game I've ever seen the Bills have with Josh Allen there.
Right.
My God, they were all over everything, and he was not sharp and all that. And so that just kind of shows you, well, it tells you everything about the damn league. I mean, come on. I don't care who you're playing. You better be ready.
That's right.
You know that. And so Carolina was ready, and I just thought, they'll run the football today. They'll play it close to the vest and all that. Okay. Well, I was wrong. They let it go. And you said it right. When you have receivers that have great days and things like that, that's awesome. They're now what do you do? Now they got what they want. We can run it when we have to, and we can throw it when we have to.
Yeah.
And they made it work.
Yeah, and it's exciting. So Tampa Bay right now 6-4, Carolina 6-5 within the division. Atlanta falls to 3-7. So the NFC South, a little tighter of a race than maybe we were expecting just a few weeks ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now let's change gears, right, to that football game that you just mentioned, right? As far as just the NFC South and Josh Allen, his performance. This is Sims Completed, part of the Believe Sports Network on FanDuel, brought to you by FanDuel, excuse me. And we're going to go to Buffalo, where the Buffalo Bills won over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 44-32. The Bucs are now a 6-4 football team. The Bills improved to a 7-3 football team. Big guy, when you watch this football game, how concerned are you? And let's start with the negative for the Buffalo Bills. How concerned are you that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with Sean Tucker, right, and them not really being known as like a super power run football team, were able to just carve up the Bills secondary, Bills defense, excuse me, with their rushing attack for over 200 yards?
Watching the game and seeing Tucker run down the sideline, I said, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was moving.
Big, and man, can he fly.
Yeah.
And let's see, was I shocked to see the Buffalo Bills give up runs? Of course not. We see it every week. And, listen, every team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, yeah, maybe our running game is not where you want it. Well, we're playing Buffalo. We'll fix it right now.
Right.
And I kind of thought overall, it was really amazing. Buffalo's got to find ways to start better. Okay, that really you can see Josh Allen is even like trying to be super careful. Man, I would say either running 3 times to start the game, or let's throw the ball, but throw the ball only after you move, Josh, because it seems to make everything happen. To me, that's a little concerning. And the Buffalo defense, once again, it's it's like, just hang on. Can the offense outscore the other team? That's what it looks like it's going to be. And they did it yesterday. And my last thought about the game too, I thought Tampa Bay, as the game went on, I just said, wow, they're losing their energy. They look tired.
Yeah.
Mayfield didn't look even close to as sharp as we've seen him all year, moving, running, throwing. And it looks like, this is just me, looks like he's lost about 10 pounds. And
interesting. Yeah.
I noticed it right away. I said, wow, Baker looks like I don't think he's trying to trim up during the season, because he doesn't need to. But who knows why? But that's just a thought I had as I watched him.
Yeah, it's a good point. And listen, Tampa Bay, with the injuries that they have on the offensive side of the football, is not helping this team. And I would agree with you, big guy. I believe that Tampa Bay still is a little flat, right? They're a little off right now with their football team, even despite with the bye and all that. Still looks like they're kind of trying to find or catch their breath again from just how intense the beginning and part of this season was.
Right.
On the other side of it, with Buffalo, hey, it's a good win. You're moving forward. You're 7-3. That's great. It's interesting too, like Buffalo and some other teams that have good records right now, there's more question marks than there are statements as far as what they do and all that kind of stuff. Josh Allen's been playing phenomenal. And I think Coach Brady's doing a good job, right, of just dialing up the plays accordingly to kind of help this offense, because they lack just that overall presence on the outside of the skill group. And that's the big question mark, right? It's just like, are we going to see more of Tyrell Shavers, right? Make more of an emergence in this offense going forward. No Dalton Kincaid, so he's out of the lineup. Where do they kind of make some things happen? They involved Cook into the passing game, which was great. They involved Ty Johnson into the passing game, but it's difficult to think, though, that the Buffalo Bills can really make a deep run if they're relying on throwing the ball to their 2 running backs and a receiver that, for the most part, has kind of been non-existent, right, in the season so far. So, and then the Keon Coleman situation on top of that, right. There's just a lot going on, I think, with this skill group for the Buffalo Bills at the moment.
Well, I don't know how to feel about it when you just want to talk just Buffalo and everything. I look at, production on the field gets you more opportunities. So Shavers is going to he might be part of just hey, we're going to throw it to you this time. This is the play we designed. And I like when the team once they really just get it, like they're playing by the seat of their pants. I don't know how else to explain it, where Josh Allen's moving around, and when he moves to throw, I should wish I'd have done the numbers, because it seems like every time he had to move, or he just moves and somebody's wide open. And I've seen that a lot this year. So, and of course, that's a way to be really careful also. Instead of standing there and let me read everything down the field. When you move, somebody changes the route, and there they go, you throw it, and you almost got to laugh. You go, where the hell's the defense? But there's quite a few. How many of those throws yesterday, Matt, were there like that? 10?
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say at least 5 or 6, right? Where he just like when you're watching and he just makes stuff happen outside of what they're originally trying to do, whatever it is. And I haven't watched the film yet, so I don't know if it was like he passed something up to maybe get something bigger, but typically he just does it because he needs to, not because he wants to.
It's the running, which kind of gets you going. That'll get you going. And two,
Yeah.
it's almost like schoolyard football, man. When in doubt, move.
Yeah.
If you drop back, you're trying to see your first look and whatever. And if you see an open hole, run to it.
Right.
And that gives you the run and the pass to your, to what you can do.
Yeah.
So I have no great feel for the Buffalo Bills. I there for a couple weeks. I'm going, run the ball with Cook. That's really working. But you're taking the quarterback out of the game.
Right. Yeah.
Even Josh Allen, as good as he is, the MVP and all this other stuff, quarterbacks need rhythm in the game. And give me some easy throws. They've been really good at that, some easy throws. But also, you just by throwing it enough and then him moving enough will keep him in the game. And that's when we see by far the best Josh Allen.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So big win for the Bills at home, 44-32 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are still kind of trying to find their footing after an exciting first 2 months of the season. And now let's go to one of the better games, I think, of the day, and that's the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The final score of this one, the Rams beating the Seahawks 21-19 at home, improving to 8-2 on the season. The Seahawks now dropping to 7-3. And this really was about what? Man, the Rams defense and just the opportunities that they created in this one, forcing 4 turnovers. Cam Kitchens himself getting 2 of them. One was a beautiful read by him where he's basically playing like that spy defender, and he cuts all the way across the field to undercut a throw by Sam Darnold over the middle late. So, man, it was a really impressive win for the Los Angeles Rams, and really more so just, I think, their defense kind of being recognized, right? Because we're always talking about Sean McVay, Matt Stafford, and what they can do with Puka Nacua and all that. The defense was the shining star in this example of this matchup.
Seattle never made the Rams play.
Right.
Okay, that's what I saw. And it just, the Rams are over there, what are we going to do? Let's just be careful. We're not really – they didn't show much on the offensive side, all that, because they're going, well, we don't really need to because Seattle, they're going to throw it to us. I mean, come on. Sam Darnold, the 4 interceptions, man, that was bad. And it's, they never really got the game to a point where you really pressured the Rams. And now you make, the quarterback drop back and throw it down the field and all those things. So, yeah, it was a bad day for Seattle. And I think the Rams just showed you they can win games many, many ways. And yesterday it's a different one. And the interceptions again, gosh, Matt, Sam Darnold had to know the focus was just on that. Oh, here's a big game. This reminds us of the end of the year last year, how it was for you at Minnesota. And it looked like a continuance of what we saw in Minnesota in big games.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's something that clearly, like, just, when it kind of went against him with that first interception, you're thinking, okay, like, hey, learn from that. Let's not throw one late over the middle after sliding in the pocket. But then, of course, it snowballs, right? Then it's like you're trying to make up with the first interception by making the next big play. And then that second interception, and then it just continues to build up from there. But, credit to the Los Angeles Rams and their defense. Darius Williams with an interception, Kobe Durant with another interception. Like I said, Cam with his 2 interceptions. And then overall, like, you could just see that both teams have really good defensive units. Both teams can cause havoc. And you're right. The Rams were never forced to really get into it. At the same time, I would have been curious to see how that would have played out as well, too, because you do notice, again, just the speed of this Seahawks defense in flashes, right? It's real. It's legit. There are some pass plays that I think were kind of easy gimmies for the Rams in the past, and you can see that the Seahawks were kind of all over it. But just, too few and far between to really create any opportunities for them on that side of the football. And hopefully, the Seattle Seahawks can bounce back from this one.
Yeah, I look at Sam Darnold, great learning experience for the football team and all that, whatever you want to say, and you realize there's another level. And that other level is, can we play all out and not make mistakes?
Right.
Well, that's when you know you got it. Let's attack on both sides of the ball. And you're right. The one thing that I did notice just watching the game, because I had it 2 games on trying to watch them both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was I needed your help with the TVs. That's another story.
Yeah,
But,
it's all good. Yeah. So
yeah,
Rams are 8-2. The Seahawks are 7-3. The 49ers 7-4.
Wow.
We're not going to go over the 49ers game today against the Arizona Cardinals, but just, the NFC West, how impressive they are right now as a whole division. Very impressive.
No doubt. Well, let's just say one thing.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy came back and he was sharp as hell.
He was sharp as hell, and defense played really well, giving them some good opportunities too. They made the most of it. Cardinals played way too much man-to-man in certain situations, and Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy absolutely made him pay for it.
Yeah.
That's our breakdown of that game. But hey, Jacoby Brissett, congratulations. Most completions in an NFL game with 47. And for whatever reason, if you break a record, whether you're throwing it or whatever, you never win the damn game. Even for you with all of your great games, you had some awesome highlight games, and it seemed like you guys always lost in those games.
Did, because when you throw that many times to complete that, you're chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may be a good thing for stats. Just throw a couple picks early, so now we're going to throw it every down, and you can really pile up the stats. That's for sure. But yeah, you're right. Those numbers, as soon as you hear that, you go, well, they had to lose.
Right. It's just part of it. We know Trey McBride is awesome. We know Michael Wilson played phenomenal in that one as well. And then Rams, according to FanDuel, just so you know as well, Rams plus 650 to win the Super Bowl. So, hey, get on that now, man, because I don't know. Old man Stafford, looking pretty good. Kyron Williams ran the football hard yesterday. Only 12 attempts, had 91 yards. Pretty impressive. And a good team win for the Los Angeles Rams in that vaunted NFC West right now. Let's change gears to the other West, the AFC West now. This is Sims Complete on the FanDuel, a part of the Believe Sports Network, sponsored by FanDuel. Wow, I really couldn't speak there. Got too excited about this matchup.
Oh, okay.
But the Broncos edging out the Kansas City Chiefs 22-19 at home. The Broncos improved to 9-2. The Chiefs now to fall to 5-5 on the season. Big guy, what do you think, man? The Broncos taking out the Chiefs on home field. Your thoughts on the game and just what they were able to accomplish today or yesterday.
It was like watching. It had the feel of a championship game between teams, the way they played the game, the way it was managed, the fans, just everything. And, the one thing you noticed, I was thinking early in the game, probably in the early second quarter, I went, Broncos don't care. Then they're ready. And, we can play with these guys and all that. And that's what it looked like. It was just a tough day for both teams to be special on the offensive side, but a lot of good defense, no doubt about it. And I would say Bo Nix, that was a huge game for him. In fact, the coverage, who they're playing against, the coaching on the other side, I thought Bo Nix, and of course at the end of the game in big moments, just made some special plays. And the other thing is too, just how Denver's defense, I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes, for him it was a subpar game, no doubt. Right. But Patrick Mahomes, it wasn't like he had tons of opportunities to really show off. He did not. The speed, the coaching, all that, and just what was on the line was, I think, a big part of why Denver won the game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the defense for Denver, obviously, they get a gold star for this one. Even the Kansas City Chiefs, I thought defensively did a lot of good things in this one. So that's why it was just like an old school matchup here that was going to the very end. Jaquan McMillan, one of the stars of the game, his interception, had 6 tackles on the day, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs as well to go with that. Even Jahdae Barron's pick 6 that was called back, I thought that was even just kind of like a big play in the game, just to kind of showcase again just how good they are in the back end, how talented they are, how it just had a different feel to it, even though it got called back and all that. And I think it was a bad call by the refs on that one, which was one of the few really bad calls, I think, in the pass interference holding world that took place yesterday. It just was a sign, though, of how good the back end is for the Denver Broncos and how tough they are up front, because you're right. A lot of hits on the quarterback, different looks, pressures from Mahomes. And you're right that the Chiefs really just could not create any offensive chemistry outside of Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey throughout the game.
Yeah, and too, so much has been said today on TV. They're done and all that. Kansas City, of course, is not. I
Yeah,
mean, that was a nail-biting game, and you're right about the interception. Even though it's called back, it just gives, oh man, we can do this. I mean,
right.
that's what it does to the football team and the defense. But overall, I'll do Denver first. They got enough talent on offense to go to the Super Bowl. They
Yeah,
do, and they got enough talent on the defensive side too to make it work to go far. And I think what's the biggest thing is, what do they have besides that? They got tremendous coaching.
hmm
They're on top of everything. They're not afraid. That's the other. And then let's go to the other side. Kansas City, it's, of course, it's still so much about on the offensive side. It's about Patrick Mahomes, and it comes down to moving and throwing. It's not drop back, read, turn, and throw. You
yeah,
just see many of that. He's going to move right away if you give him the opportunity. And then, too, on the defensive side, I thought Kansas City defense played really well. And I
yeah.
heard somebody talk about Chris Jones maybe before the game. And this, I've been watching him. And, because when you watch the Kansas City defense, you're going to, for me, I clue on him first. I think he looks like he's in great shape. And damn, can he run? Did you notice a couple of times when he was chasing, you go, he just looked like a bigger running back.
You're right, right. He's really big running back. I mean, he did have a sack. He had a tackle for loss.
What's that?
I said he had a sack. He had a tackle for loss yesterday.
Yeah, but it just, his movement and disruption is maybe more important than the stats that he puts up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I heard some people talking about that. Oh, it's over for Chris Jones, and I don't know that effort and what I saw talent wise. I would beg to differ.
Yeah, it was another example, I think, where Chamari Connor just showed that he's one of the better defensive players in the league yesterday. Again, he was all over the place for Spags in that defense. Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton still just making plays left and right for him. Trent McDuffie was all over the place. Chanel. So it's just a credit to the Denver Broncos, right, for hanging in there, because it's not like the Chiefs played poorly on the defense side of the football. The Broncos just made some unbelievable plays there towards the end. And I love that back shoulder throw by Bo Nix there on the corner route there versus man coverage. That was a well-thrown football there. So impressive that they made the plays that they needed to in critical moments. And just want to remind everybody too, and including yourself, big guy, Denver Broncos lost a really tough game week 2 against the Indianapolis Colts, where they get the penalty, the Colts get the re-kick. So that's how they lost that one. Lost a tight one to the Chargers in week 3 following that tough loss to the Colts. Got to remember too, this team beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly, the comeback win against the New York Giants, the overpowering win against the Dallas Cowboys, the tough win against the Houston Texans. So just like you mentioned earlier, right? And now taking down the other AFC champion from a year ago, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Denver Broncos have shown a great mixture of just, we can win it however we need to win it on a week in and week out basis.
Well, the word there is they're battle tested, big guy, big
right.
time.
Right.
And they play. And that's what I like so much about it. You can just see the how they're disciplined, how hard they play, and you look on the field and you go, it's just a matter of time. And just in big moments, they call big plays. It ain't 4th and 1 or whatever, and we're going to do a quarterback sneak or, no, they're going to have a play for you.
Yeah.
They're going to have something that they were ready for this situation. They got 3 plays they like in this situation. They're going to pick one, and most of the time it's going to work because that's what Sean Payton does.
Yeah, it's a great point. Denver now 9-2 atop of the AFC West. Los Angeles Chargers in second place in the AFC West at 7-4. Then the Kansas City Chiefs at 5-5. So the Chiefs, a lot of work cut out for them here to kind of get through and get an opportunity to get into that wild card spot, who were the Jacksonville Jaguars hold that tiebreaker over them, and Jacksonville with the big win yesterday over the Chargers, so they can keep pace as well at 6-4. So it's going to be a really interesting finish, here for the AFC and this playoff picture. And now, last but not least, one of the better matchups of the day, another defensive grudge match here. This is Sims Complete on the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. The Eagles getting the victory over the Detroit Lions 16-9. The Eagles now improving to 8-2. The Lions now dropping to 6-4. Big guy, I mean, let's just get to it, man. Your thoughts on Dan Campbell, the Cambler. What were your thoughts on just all of the 4th down goes or attempts that they had in this one against the defending Super Bowl champions?
I can understand it if each team was just throwing the ball and scoring right and left.
Right.
It wasn't that. It was just a big mess in the middle of the field. That's all it is. And then what were they chasing? They were always in the game, fourth and let's go for it. That's what I do. I'm aggressive. Well, I don't know. I'm not even second guessing. I do it in front of the TV and I write it on my paper right away. Why are they going for it? And it really, it was too much for me. It really was.
Yeah.
And as it turned around, if he just punts, then they're going to get the ball back a lot of times in really good field position. But I don't know how many went for it. See, I just know it was in my mind as I watched it as the game went on. Don't do it. You're within one score. Just punt it and play defense. And it's not like Philadelphia was showing they had a game plan of all game plans. Hey, they were struggling too on offense, and you let them get away with it because the fourth down plays. It was too much for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think ultimately too, it's not like that they got it was one of those situations where the turnover on downs really betrayed them. And I think that's also kind of what tricked Coach Campbell and the team to kind of go to these other go for it situations. The defense was holding up. So that first one where they had the turnover on downs around midfield, they forced a 3-and-out punt. So the Detroit Lions defense stepping up. Then after that following drive, another 4 plays and out turnover on downs. The Eagles settled for a field goal to make it 6-0. The Detroit Lions then answer with the Jamison Williams beautiful throw over the middle where he just cuts it up and runs and he shows off his speed on that beautiful cut. Eagles answer that one with their own touchdown right before half there. So it's 13-6 at halftime. And ultimately, like Coach Campbell kind of got away with the fact that he played aggressive and his defense bailed them out on numerous occasions there. And it was still just a 1-score game up into that point.
Right.
But then he comes out at half, turnover on downs again on a 6-play drive where they just cover 33 yards. They force another punt. But what happened though, I think go ahead, Big Eye. What are your thoughts? Because I want to hear what you think at that point.
No, it's okay. They could have put more pressure on the Eagles. That's the other thing.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so field position, hey, you know it. Wherever you are in the field is determined what plays you're going to run.
Right.
You're not going to be wide open inside the 20 or 30. You're going to be now. You get out to the 40 in midfield, we can do whatever we want. So that's kind of the way I looked at it. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I think it's a great point. I think that's why I asked you, right? Because it's really just the momentum of the game and really just field position in general and that advantage that it plays, not only for your defense to have even more momentum because they're playing great, but it also gives you the opportunity for your defense to be maybe a little aggressive, take a calculated risk, right? Try to force an errant throw there when they're kind of pinned back more. It gives your offense then the opportunity to utilize a short field in that sudden change situation, right? So I think for Coach Campbell, and then the other thing too is please just kick field goals. Let's take points when we got them. I mean, right? Let's just put some points on the board and feel confident about what we're doing because the turnover on downs, I think, do have a cumulative effect on a football team and the offense as the game continues to wear on.
Sure. Not scoring, whatever. The turnover on downs, it's in your head. When you're playing, you're the quarterback and you go out there 3 times with the ball and you don't get anything done or whatever. You're psyche.
Right.
Do you lose a little faith? Hell, of course you do. Because the other team is tough at every play. Oh, I got a first down. This is great. These games, those type of games, it's a big time battle. We saw that with that game. We saw it with Denver and Kansas City. I mean, there were some games yesterday. It was just who can endure the punishment. Look, I couldn't even write everything down yesterday. Brian told my son-in-law, he was sitting there listening to me, and I said, man, if somebody else goes for 2 points, and I'm going to scream. I was going to start tweeting it, but I said, it's too much work because I'm trying to keep track of all these games. But the 2 points going 4 on 4th, it's overkill. And it's the easy out. The media doesn't really get on it, and fans, whatever, they forget that it happened or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And the one that was, that where it's just take the points. That's the one that happened in the third quarter of the game. And Coach Campbell, they're down there at the 3-yard line, take the points. It's now 13-9. Totally changes the whole vibe of the football game at that point. Now you really do make the feel like the Eagles got to press a little bit on the offense side of the football. Then you can be a little bit more aggressive with going for it and certain things like that when you are in a one-score football game at that point, and can really put the ball in the hands of your quarterback.
Yeah.
And how about this though? All that being said, 16-6 football game. And then Nick Sirianni himself goes for it on 4th and 1 on his own 29-yard line. They don't convert it. They do finally kick a field goal 4 plays later after losing 7 yards on that ensuing drive. And they make it 16-9. But just amazing too that Nick Sirianni and his choice at that point in the game, leading 16-6 to go for it in a 4th down situation.
That 4th down and 3 by the Detroit is one that really got me.
Yeah.
Okay, you haven't blocked them the whole game. Oh, well, we're going to block them this play. This big important play where we can get 3, but no, this is the play we're going to block them. And of course, I will say this: I forget which wide receiver it was coming from the left side. He was wide open coming across the field. He was uncovered almost, but didn't make any difference. They couldn't block him up front, so Jared Goff had to throw it away. And
it was a shallow cross. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was one of the tight ends, but yeah, he was wide open. But Jared Goff was looking beyond that to Amon-Ra St. Brown, so he missed that easy touchdown right in front of him. So that'll be one where hey, we had the right call, we just didn't execute and all that. Still,
no, it was the wrong call, Matt, and you can't block them. Give me 3. The read was look at Amon St. Brown first, and then the under. Well, by the time you get off the first read, you're trying to get rid of the football because you're getting stampeded, which he was. They broke through. They overpowered him right there. So,
and that's definitely something that kind of played out as the game went on, because they didn't convert some of those 4th downs, because they didn't play field position. They kind of took away their ability to maybe stay patient with the running attack, right, for their offense and for their quarterback.
Right.
And ultimately, Jared Goff just did not throw the football effectively. He really just, for whatever reason, maybe it was the wind, of course, defensive pressure and all that, right? The Eagles were playing great ball that way and really collapsing the pocket, but the batted passes at the line of scrimmage were big time. It was very easy for the Eagles defenders, I feel like, to kind of time up the release point on some of the throws that Jared Goff was making. Right. And then Jared Goff himself, for whatever reason, just a lot of throws low, right? For maybe it was the wind. He was trying to throw a little bit harder, kind of got caught leaning forward a few times on some of his throws, and really drove a few footballs into the ground when they had guys open.
Yeah, he couldn't get his legs under him the way he usually does. He didn't have the space for that little crow hop or whatever. But yeah, the defense, they were covering the receivers, I thought, overall pretty well. And it was windy, but I don't think it affected him because he had the gloves on. And I've watched him play with those gloves on a few times. He always throws it really well. I just thought the biggest thing, he threw some low footballs, but it was always with pressure on him. So he's kind of just trying to get it.
Right.
He had no body to it because he couldn't use his body to throw. It was all with his hand and arm. And that's probably over the last couple of years, that might be one of the toughest games he's played as far as getting time to throw, having space to throw. And it really never gave their wide receivers a great chance because they just really couldn't stop the Philadelphia defensive line front enough for Jared Goff to be more accurate, to make better throws, and to give somebody a chance to get open down the field.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing, I think, a part about this defense right now, too, and Vic Fangio and what they're doing on that side of the ball. The addition of Jalen Phillips, of course, the 2 guys from Georgia, interior part of that defensive line, Nakobe Dean being back and healthy, Smith on the outside and his speed, the linebackers in general. And then, of course, Adoree Jackson played phenomenal yesterday, got beat on the 1 touchdown, but other than that, made a lot of big-time defensive plays. Cooper DeJean with the interception, Makuba, the young man out of Texas, making some plays. So, this defense that we thought was maybe questionable early on, like, where's all the help? Seems like they're really coming here into form in a big way. And despite all that, still going to make a run out of it, despite the headaches maybe they have on the offensive side of the football. They just know how to win these tough games. As you see on the bottom hand of our screen here, the Eagles plus 500 to win the Super Bowl. And I got to tell you, I kind of like those odds right now for the Philadelphia Eagles because they're a good football team. They know how to win tough games. Their coach, knows how to kind of, motivate the team just enough, right, to kind of piss them off a little bit. And of course, right, when you can make plays on that side of the football with the star talent they have on defense and on offense, and Jalen Hurts just playing good, clean football, they're a tough beat.
I mean, just think about it. Okay, first off, they're 2 interior linemen. They can ruin the game, and they almost did yesterday. So we got a really good running back in Saquon Barkley. We got 2 premier wide receivers. Got a solid tight end. Yeah. Quarterback knows how to play, knows how to manage the game. That might be one of his greatest strengths. He does not take chances when his team is in the right position. You know, I think that goes unnoticed, but I notice it every game. Why try to throw an outcut, which he did a couple times, and it was a little like, woo, man, that corner was all over it.
Right.
So he backs off of it. They got an offensive line that's really, really good. Hey, come on, this is a team. Man, it's on paper, it's the best team in the NFL. And there's nobody, I don't even think that, I'm not going to say nobody's not close, but boy, and like everybody keeps talking and you say it and I say it, they haven't even hit their peak yet. They're just now rounding into shape.
Yeah.
And I thought that game yesterday was, even though I don't care. I thought it was just a game where the Eagles showed physically we can dominate good teams.
That's right.
We saw in the Super Bowl, but we're starting to see it again.
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting following the Eagles here and how it works out for the rest of the year. But good luck in trying to beat them.
Yeah. And Saquon ran the football well, 26 for 83 yards. Tank Bigsby also, flashed in this. Only had 4 carries, but definitely noticed with the intensity that he was running with too. So a good little 1-2 punch there with just fresh legs with Tank Bigsby, because when he got in there, he definitely made his presence known very quickly. And then, for the Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, you're right. Just championship football team. They know how to do it. They've been there, done that before. And you're right. They definitely enjoy kind of playing big brother when they have that opportunity to. And that's exactly what they did against the Detroit Lions. Big guy, any thoughts before we close out the show?
Yeah, my last thought is this, just watching games, it crossed my mind a couple times.
Yeah.
Is that if I'm drafting next year, I don't care where I'm drafting in that first round, there's going to be a running back that is a big time first round draft pick. And I would say take him. Because we talk about, you can't do it. Running backs can change a football team as fast as a quarterback almost. Right. Just give them opportunities. When you see these special guys, Henderson of the Patriots.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. He's a big part of it. Then when you watch Jahmyr Gibbs and you see Saquon and all this, you just go, hey, give it to them enough. They're good for big plays, special moments. And boy, I really look at it this way. If you don't have one of those premier running backs like James Cook, there's a lot of them out there, then I think you're way behind what's going on.
Right.
And so, hey, college running backs, you know it more than me. There's a lot of good ones out there. Stay healthy, and you're going to be drafted high now. That thing, you can't draft a running back in the first round. That damn thing's done.
Yeah. Well, and there's the other aspect of it too, though, right? Because then you got guys like Sean Tucker, 3rd year in the league out of Syracuse, waiting for his opportunity. It finally comes, and look how impressive he looked today. So there is, there's 2 ends to that conversation, right? And I feel it's like, you could take the good player. I would say if you feel like you're pretty set as far as your offensive line and all of that, then absolutely addition of a superstar running back is only going to exponentially help your group. But if they're still in building block process, I would say, pass on the running back. You can find a good one later, but I know exactly what you mean. But the other question too, right, as you bring this up, now what happens with Lane Johnson, his injury, how serious is that? He's going to be out for a few weeks now. Cam Jurgens, he left the game, didn't come back. He was out. That's probably why the tush push wasn't as effective later on the football game. So that'll be something too that the Eagles will have to kind of manage as the season progresses to see how their O-line stays healthy or not.
My last thing about that though, when you get a premier running back and we've seen quite a few this year, but they're going to be good. Of course, injury is always a big part. As Bill Belichick says, remember, every play for the running back is a car wreck. And, you're going to take punishment. But how quick they can change your team. And, that bright light, when you get that guy, it's not going to be a 10-year career, most likely. But for 3 to 5 years, somewhere in there, man, that's when they're at their peak, it seems like. So, It crossed my mind yesterday. I just saw so many guys running. I went, man, if you don't have a big time running back now, you're falling behind the curve to the rest of the league. So,
yeah, no doubt. No doubt. All right, so that's all we got for today. This is Sims Complete. I'm your host, Matt Sims, alongside the man himself, double sticks from the New York Giants, Phil Sims. We're a part of the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel, and we'll be back with more action and breakdowns leading up to this weekend's matchups and maybe a few other player breakdowns as well as we get into it. So this is Sims Complete, and we'll see you next time.